Okay, let's talk about the meat business. We all know that in this industry, every single percentage point of profit counts, right? But what if I told you there was a way not only to protect your profits, but to actually set a brand new standard for freshness and quality? Well, today we're going to dive into a technology that does exactly that. It's all about turning those frustrating hidden losses into real, tangible gains. So what are those hidden costs that are secretly eating away at your profits? I mean, it's a question every single producer has to ask themselves. You're probably amazing at managing the costs you can see, right? But what about the ones you can't? Those silent little thieves that just chip away at your revenue day in and day out. And here it is, the perfect picture of the problem. We're talking about what's called invisible losses. Think about it. A tiny 1% loss from spoilage. It might not sound like a big deal, right? But when you add that up over a whole year, whoa, it becomes this massive, gaping hole in your bottom line. The crazy thing is, the old ways of dealing with this stuff often just make things worse. You use traditional chemicals, and suddenly your meat doesn't taste or smell quite right. Or you use aggressive stuff like chlorine, and it's literally eating away at your expensive equipment over time, leading to some seriously painful repair bills. And don't even get me started on logistics. A single delay, one tiny shift in temperature, and boom, an entire shipment could be a total loss. It's a nightmare. But what if there was a better way to do all this? A way to protect your product without having to make all those compromises? Well, that's exactly where this new standard of freshness comes into the picture. Let's talk about Cy14 Pharma Colloidal Silver. So here it is. This is Sim14 Pharma. And let me be clear, this is not just another sanitizer you splash around. Nope. This is a scientifically backed, advanced solution that's been engineered to protect everything: your product, your equipment, and maybe most importantly, your profits. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how in the world does this stuff actually work? Well, the secret? It's all in the science of atomic silver. All right, let's get into it. At its heart, Sign14 Pharma is what's called an advanced nanodispersion. Now, that sounds complicated, but just picture this. It's a bunch of incredibly tiny particles of 99.99% pure silver just floating in water. This isn't some old-fashioned method. We're talking about high-tech, precision-engineered stuff designed for one thing: maximum power against microbes. So let's break down what makes this so incredibly effective. First off, purity. It's 99.99% pure silver. No weird impurities, no additives. Then, the particle size. They're tiny, around 15 nanometers. Why does that matter? Because being that small gives them a massive surface area to work with, which means they're way more effective. It's got an industrial strength concentration too. But here's the absolute best part, the bottom line. It is completely safe for humans, but it is absolutely deadly for the pathogens that ruin your meat. And hey, you don't just have to take my word for it. Look at this. The proof is right here in these pictures. On the left, you've got your standard control sample, just crawling with bacteria. But on the right, that's the sample treated with C14. It is perfectly clean, sterile. The difference is just it's night and day. This right here is the scientific proof of how powerful it is. And we're not just talking about killing off one or two types of bacteria here. No way. Cy14 Pharma is proven to wipe out 99.9% of the biggest, baddest, most costly pathogens in the business. We're talking E. coli, Salmonella, Listeria, even stubborn molds like Candida. It's like having this complete, comprehensive shield protecting your product. So that's the science, which is pretty cool, right? But let's get down to what really matters. What does this mean for your business, for your bottom line? Let's talk about the real-world impact. Okay, the first thing you're going to see, and it is a big one, is a huge boost in shelf life. I mean, just look at this chart. We're talking about increasing the time you can store and sell your products by 1.5 to 2 times. That is an absolute game changer. So what does a longer shelf life really mean for you? Well, for starters, it means way fewer losses from spoilage. It means fewer annoying returns from retailers. But it also unlocks something much, much bigger: the ability to expand your sales territory. All of a sudden, you can confidently ship your products to more distant regions, opening up entirely new streams of revenue. All right, let's talk about the numbers because this is where it gets really exciting. The cost for the working solution is just 74 cents per liter. That's it. Now let's compare that to the benefit. If you save just 1% on, say, 50 tons of product, that puts an extra $2,000 right back in your pocket every single month. I mean, the math here, it really does speak for itself. Or let me put it another way. That's a 15-fold return on your investment. Let that sink in. Not over a year, not in 6 months. We're talking about the very first month. This is an investment that pays for itself almost instantly. So a 15x ROI sounds amazing, but you're probably thinking, okay, what's the catch? Is this going to be a huge pain to implement? The answer is no, not at all. And that's the real beauty of it. You get this incredible competitive edge without having to disrupt your workflow one bit. Seriously, you can forget about buying a bunch of expensive new equipment. It is a simple 3-step process, and it requires zero capital expenditure. That's right, CAPEX free. Step 1, you dilute the concentrate with water. Step 2, you apply it using the sprayers and equipment you already have. And step 3, you see the results starting with the very first batch. It's that simple. And this isn't some spot treatment for just one part of your line. No, Sci14 Pharma gives you comprehensive biosecurity across your entire operation. From the moment you start processing the raw materials, through packaging, all the way to storage and logistics, every single stage is protected. And when it comes to your storage areas, it gets even cooler. You can use what's called dry fog technology. This stuff creates a fog that gets into every single nook and cranny of your cold rooms and containers, all those hard-to-reach places. It gives you a level of sterility that you just can't get with regular spraying. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial. This isn't some copycat product or generic formula. The people behind Sip14 Pharma, they are the actual developers and patent holders of this unique atomic silver technology. What that means for you is an unmatched level of quality, performance, and trust that nobody else can offer. This is the real deal. Okay, so let's tie this all together. At the end of the day, this is about way more than just keeping things clean. It's about giving your business a real, powerful, and sustainable competitive advantage. It's about starting to earn more today. Think about your B2B advantage here. You can now walk into any retailer and offer them something your competitors can't, a product with a longer, more reliable shelf life. You can guarantee a premium standard of quality and safety. You can say yes to those long-haul deliveries without sweating it. And best of all, you can finally protect your revenue from those costly write-offs and returns. So the opportunity to completely transform your business is right here, right now. You can start small. Order a test sample just to see the results for yourself, or you can jump in with a pilot launch at your own facility. Getting started is easy. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. Just imagine, for a second, that your single biggest source of product lost just vanished. It's gone. What new opportunities would that open up for your business? What new doors would that unlock?